Audio Jungle.
Leipzig got their first away win of 2024 at the weekend against Bochum, scoring 3 goals in 4 minutes. They make just the 2 changes as Luis Openda comes into the lineup after being on the bench at the weekend, and Xavier Schlager comes back in after his domestic suspension. So they have Galashi in goal, Henriks, Orban, Lukeba and Raum the back 4, Haidara and Schlager the holding players in midfield, Olmo, Simon. Madrid have won 36 of the 38 UEFA ties when winning the first leg. It's Real against RB Leipzig. There have been a few signs of frailty for Real in recent weeks, with 3 draws in 5 games in La Liga, but a win in Germany in the first leg sets the home side into this game in a positive frame of mind. Carlo Ancelotti makes just 1 change. He brings in the defender Nacho in place of the forward Rodrigo, so it's Lunin still in goal, Carvajal, Rudiger, Nacho and Mendy the back 4, Cruz, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Valverde, Bellingham and Vinicius Jr. completing the lineup. Leipzig got their first away win of 2024 the weekend against Bochum, scoring 3 goals in 4 minutes. They make just the 2 changes as Luis Openda comes into the lineup after being on the bench at the weekend, and Xavier Schlager comes back in after his domestic suspension. So they have Galashi in goal, Henriks, Orban, Lukeba and Raum the back 4, Haidara and Schlager the holding players in midfield, Olmo, Simons, Openda and Sesko completing the lineup. Madrid have won 36 of the 38 UEFA ties when winning the first leg. It's Real against RB Leipzig. There have been a few signs of frailty for Real in recent weeks, with 3 draws in 5 games in La Liga, but a win in Germany in the first leg sets the home side into this game in a positive frame of mind. Carlo Ancelotti makes just 1 change. He brings in the defender Nacho in place of the forward Rodrigo, so it's Lunin still in goal, Carvajal, Rudiger, Nacho and Mendy the back 4, Cruz, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Valverde, Bellingham and Vinicius Jr. completing the lineup. Leipzig got their first away win of 2024 the weekend against Bochum, scoring 3 goals in 4 minutes. They make just the 2 changes as Luis Openda comes into the lineup after being on the bench at the weekend, and Xavier Schlager comes back in after his domestic suspension. So they have Galashi in goal, Henriks, Orban, Lukeba and Raum the back 4, Haidara and Schlager the holding players in midfield, Olmo, Simons, Openda and Sesko completing the lineup. Madrid have won 36 of the 38 UEFA ties when winning the first leg. It's Real against RB Leipzig. There have been a few signs of frailty for Real in recent weeks, with 3 draws in 5 games in La Liga, but a win in Germany in the first leg sets the home side into this game in a positive frame of mind. Carlo Ancelotti makes just 1 change. He brings in the defender Nacho in place of the forward Rodrigo, so it's Lunin still in goal, Carvajal, Rudiger, Nacho and Mendy the back 4, Cruz, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Valverde, Bellingham and Vinicius Jr. completing the lineup. Leipzig got their first away win of 2024 the weekend suspension, so they have Galashi in goal, Henriks, Orban, Lukeba and Raum the back 4, Haidara and Schlager the holding players in midfield, Olmo, Simons, Openda and Sesko completing the lineup. Madrid have won 36 of the 38 UEFA ties when winning the first leg. It's Real against RB Leipzig. There have been a few signs of frailty for Real in recent weeks, with 3 draws in 5 games in La Liga, but a win in Germany in the first leg sets the home side into this game in a positive frame of mind. Carlo Ancelotti makes just 1 change. He brings in the defender Nacho in place of the forward Rodrigo, so it's Lunin still in goal, Carvajal, Rudiger, Nacho and Mendy the back 4, Cruz, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Valverde, Bellingham and Vinicius Jr. completing the lineup. Leipzig got their first away win of 2024 the weekend against Bochum, scoring 3 goals in 4 minutes. They make just the 2 changes as Luis Openda comes into the lineup after being on the bench at the weekend, and Xavier Schlager comes back in after his domestic suspension. So they have Galashi in goal, Henriks, Orban, Lukeba and Raum the back 4, Haidara and Schlager the holding players in midfield, Olmo, Simons, Openda and Sesko completing the lineup. Madrid have won 36 of the 38 UEFA ties when winning the first leg. It's Real against RB Leipzig. There have been a few signs of frailty for Real in recent weeks, with 3 draws in 5 games in La Liga, but a win in Germany in the first leg sets the home side into this game in a positive frame of mind. Carlo Ancelotti makes just one change. He brings in the defender Nacho in place of the forward Rodrigo, so it's Lunin still in goal, Carvajal, Rudiger, Nacho and Mendy the back 4, Cruz, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Valverde, Bellingham and Vinicius Jr. completing the lineup. Leipzig got their first away win of 2024 the weekend against Bochum, scoring 3 goals in 4 minutes. The lineup after being on the bench at the weekend, and Xavier Schlager comes back in after his domestic suspension. So they have Galashi in goal, Henriks, Orban, Lukeba and Raum the back 4, Haidara, Olmo, Simons, Openda and Sesko completing the lineup. Madrid have won 36 of the 38 UEFA ties when winning the first leg. It's Real against RB Leipzig. Well, we'll leave that there because we are just getting underway. Champions League encounter, of course, Real Madrid against RB Leipzig. 1-0 to the Spanish side after the first leg, but it was tight, it was interesting. There was plenty of attacking from both sides, as you'd expect with these two. Neither of them potentially built to defend. They prefer to attack, although the Real coach Carlo Ancelotti has gone a little bit conservative with his changes. We'll come to that in a second. Nobody on the same page in the light blue / dark blue kit of Leipzig this evening. Real Madrid in all white. We will keep an eye on what's happening elsewhere. Manchester City against Copenhagen is of course the other Champions League game. There are now 4 games in the Championship. If you missed it and have had a little dabble around the Championship in terms of your records, etc. this evening, the game at Southampton was postponed due to a fire in the St Mary's area that has restricted access to the stadium. So unfortunately that game against Preston unable to go ahead. It is already Middlesbrough 0, Norwich 1 and Watford 0, Swansea 1. Those games, 3 of the 4 games kicking off at 7:45. QPR against West Brom kicked off at 8 o'clock. Marco Rosa on the sideline. And, man in with arms crossed for the moment, just watching his side, and I think perfectly happy with the start that his side have made, Tom, so far.
Yeah, they've been positive. They immediately look to get on the front foot. They haven't seen as much of the ball in the last 90 seconds or so. Real Madrid perhaps just trying to take a little bit of the sting out of the Leipzig tails, but they're pressing high the away side. They're fighting to win it back, and predominantly all the play so far in these opening 4 minutes has been taking place inside Real's territory.
It certainly has, as the ball is picked up by Toni Kroos. Deep inside his own half, quarterback role as usual. He'll spray a ball out to Carvajal on the right hand side, who gets away from a couple of blue shirted players, then just rolls it back inside to Tchouaméni. No way forward for him, and a challenge comes in by Openda, and forward come Leipzig again, streaming downfield. The ball finds its way to Openda on the edge of the box. There's nobody to play it to though out wide, finds himself trapped, but still they have possession down the left hand side as Raum gets forward, tries to get a cross in. Carvajal with the block, and it's behind I think, for a corner. We've not quite seen from our pictures, as we say, independent off-tube studio commentary. The ball has spun away, I think, for a corner, but again, Leipzig press high, get the benefit from it as Raum comes forward to take the corner kick from the left-hand side. So it'll be the left-footed outswinger from the fullback. So he puts it in towards the near post. It does get, well, half a head on it from a Leipzig man, then it's headed back in and blocked away. Tchouameni will just roll the ball onto the left-hand side, and Real find it up towards Vinicius Junior on that left-hand side. Plenty of defenders bite, but Vinicius Junior has the pace down the left-hand side. Can he get room to get the ball in? He's right to contact. I'm afraid to say hits the deck. Nothing to come. Ball is out of play. Goal kick.
Yeah, it looked like he could still get there, didn't it, Vinicius Junior? He's taken on Schlager down that left-hand side. He's done him for pace. There's a slight arm across from the Leipzig midfielder, and maybe a bit of a tangle, but there's not much in it. Certainly not enough to give a free kick. And if he had his time again there, Vinicius perhaps would have kept on going and looked to get across into the box.
It's very slippy in that corner, that pitch, obviously, clearly. Absolutely hardly any contact at all. I'll call it out, I don't care. Stay on his feet, he wasn't going to keep the ball. If you were looking for a shock at the Etihad, it's become less likely, even less likely than it was before, because Manuel Akanji has scored for Manchester City to make it City 1, Copenhagen 0, 4-1. Therefore on aggregate in that one, and there's only 6 minutes played as there is in our game, but we remain at 0-0. Leipzig on the front foot again, ball into the area, Olmo goes in, that will be a foul against him rather than the defender. Got on the wrong side of the Real Madrid man, but again looking for that little ball through into the angle, and Nacho, who's back in the side today, having to be careful. Clear foul. No, I'm not having any issue with that challenge or that effort to get a free kick at all.
Yeah, Dani Olmo will be as eager as anyone to impress back on home turf in Spain this evening, and just a little bit over-eager trying to get in behind the pass. Clever idea, but wasn't quite on him. He was never going to get the better of Nacho, who got his body between man and ball, and at the very least he was always going to draw the foul.
Yeah, absolutely, and Real in possession, deep inside their own half. Force the issue at the moment. It will be down to the German side to try and find a way past this Real Madrid team. As we said, 36 of the 38 UEFA ties when winning in the first leg have seen Real go through to the next round, so that's the size of the historical challenge, at least, that Leipzig face. And at the moment they press again high up, but there's room enough for Madrid to have possession deep inside their own half. Kroos again drops deep, spreads the ball, looks for Carvajal again, who's got space, but he's trapped on the halfway line in front of his manager on that right hand side. Back with Kroos again, who will then go the opposite side towards Mendy. He takes it down and rolls it into the centre for Camavinga, who's yet to open his account for the season in either the Champions League or La Liga. Here's Camavinga, he has possession now, trying to get away from Olmo down that left-hand side, but there's no space. Challenge comes in again, the ball breaks away for Openda, and again he races off downfield, foot in from Camavinga. It's a good challenge as well, and he will take the ball back in the opposite direction, and then he gets rattled in the back by Openda. Referee says get on with it, you've got the ball, Real, and they will come up towards the halfway line with Carvajal down the right-hand side. Checks back inside. Camavinga being faced up by Simons on this left-hand side. Sesko this time goes to cover, the larger of the two strikers. A little ball down the channel. Galashi will have to be out quickly here, and he is. Gets there before Bellingham. Bellingham, though, had made the right kind of run, but the pass overhit, fortunately for Leipzig at least. Galashi quickly out, Tom.
Yeah, reacted quite well. I think the pattern of the game is set. We probably could have guessed this given the way Real Madrid have set up, but Leipzig are wanting to do a lot of pressing inside Real's half, but when Real bypass that press, then they've got the pace and ability on the counter-attack to look a threat.
Yeah, Mendy and Vinicius Junior then down the left-hand side. Comes back across inside towards Camavinga. Can't find a way into the area, though. It's cleared away, although nobody out easily for Leipzig on this occasion. Olmo does really well. Plays the ball through. Sesko's surely offside. He will be allowed, of course, to carry on. I think he knows he's offside. He runs into the area. Good save. He got players inside him. It should have been a simple ball across to finish that off, but I think the flag will have gone up, even though we haven't actually seen it yet. He certainly looked like he was well offside, Tom.
Yeah, and I'm going to give Sesko the benefit of the doubt to suggest that he knew he was offside, although that replay there looked a little bit tighter than it did at first glance, because That's the only reason I can think why he's going for goal from there. It's a good save actually from Lunin, but he's got to square it. He's got two players in blue next to him. It's such an important game. That would have been such an important moment. So, yeah, I'm going to say he knew he was offside, which is why he took the shot. Otherwise, it's really poor decision making.
Yeah, let's hope he did. Let's put it that way, absolutely. Second goal, by the way, for Manchester City. It's all done and dusted at the Etihad, or is it? We shall see. Julian Alvarez makes it 2-0, 5-1 on aggregate. Could be some substitutions early at the Etihad then on that basis. As there are a number of what you would class as regular first teamers out there. Although I suspect that a certain Mr. Haaland will not be wanting to be substituted early. There's a couple of goals early on in that game. But in our game, we remain at 0-0, a much tighter affair because Madrid have possession through Rudiger, deep inside his own half, and dropping across towards Andre Lunin. Teams reset themselves again, but you see again Vinicius Junior really wide on that left-hand side. There's basically no centre forward at all for Real Madrid, is there? It's two players out wide as the ball comes forward again over the top. Orban should be able to hold off Vinicius Junior. Doesn't quite manage it though. Vinicius Junior's got away from him. The referee is going to say that it is out of play, I think, for a throw-in. Is he, or has he said a foul? I'm not sure. We haven't seen the referee. It's not that I can't ascertain what the issue is. It's because we haven't actually seen him. I think the linesman is...
Junior, but just trying to out-muscle him and wasn't able to. Completely missed the Real Madrid forward, who then, had he kept that ball in play, was breaking into the penalty area and there were bodies getting forward in support. So you can understand his frustration. But yeah, I'm guessing it was given as a throw, but certainly a tight call.
It certainly was, as the ball is picked up by Carvajal in a more central position on this occasion. He'll come across to the left-hand side. Camavinga finds some space, but then goes wide on his right to Tchouaméni. And it's played all the way across onto the right-hand side for Valverde, who's playing as a right winger. Vinicius Junior playing as a left winger as the ball is chipped in towards Vinicius Junior. He doesn't really get his head to it. Orban puts his head up in front of him, flicks it on, and it kind of hits the Real Madrid man and loops harmlessly over the bar in the end.
Yeah, it's an interesting setup, isn't it, for Real Madrid? Vinicius is a left winger who occasionally pops up as a striker. Bellingham is kind of playing as the striker role, but is popping up as a number 10. And likewise, Valverde wants to be a number 10 and is popping up in that position, but his fundamental position is on the right wing this evening.
Yeah, there's a good breakaway here again from Leipzig. The ball into Openda. He's cleared. Oh dear, that's a terrible finish again. And Leipzig have had a couple of early opportunities. Yeah, we probably accept the first one was going to be flagged offside anyway, but that one wasn't. Openda found himself in space on the edge of the penalty area, tried to bend one into the far corner, and has blasted it straight out of play.
Yeah, he forgot the bend part of the bending shot there, didn't he? It was brilliant play by Xavi Simons down the left-hand side, cutting in field, picks the right pass. We all can see what he's trying to do. He wants to use the inside of his foot and whip that into the top left-hand corner of Andre Lunin's goal, but you know, he gets no whip and it ends up looking a really poor finish. Well, it was a really poor finish that goes 5-6 yards wide of the target. Yeah,
we'll go retro. I'll say Poulsen would have enjoyed that chance, and Benzema would have loved that chance at the other end for these two sides. If we look into their recent history, but neither of those players playing their trade on the pitch as it stands at the moment. The ball is back with Leipzig on the halfway line as they look forward again with the Orban looking for options to play something over the top, but at the moment the Real Madrid defensive line quite deep, not giving any space in behind. Now they've suddenly found a little bit of extra room in midfield as Dani Olmo pops up in a central position, tries to roll a ball into the area towards Sesko, but it is cleared away, or at least tidied up in that sense by Real Madrid as they play it forward with Cruz. Bellingham can't keep possession though, challenges come in and then he catches the Leipzig man. I don't think it's anything deliberate. He immediately apologises in terms of the free kick. Referee David Massa, Italian referee. Nothing in that for me. Certainly catches Henriks, there is no question about that really, I think, despite his protestations, but I don't think he said anything more.
Yes, slightly more calm protest than we saw from him on Saturday, Sunday, was it, over the weekend against Valencia. He's one of the players, Bellingham incidentally, who's a card away from picking up a suspension, which is probably why he looked a little bit panicked when he conceded that free kick, but yeah, in itself not worth a yellow card.
As you say, I don't think there's anything nasty with it at all. It was almost that the player landed on him rather than anything else, but it was the lunge that caused it, so it will be a free kick to Leipzig, centre of the Real Madrid half, right-hand side, almost level with the edge of the penalty area on that side as it's whipped in towards the far post. Orban gets his header to it, but it's never going to trouble Lunin in the Real Madrid goal as it bounces harmlessly wide. Another goal in the Championship. It's now Cardiff City 1, Huddersfield 0, and Norwich are down to 10 men, despite the fact that they lead by a goal to 0 against Norwich as it stands at the moment. But again, disappointing end for Leipzig in what was potentially a good opportunity. Come back to that in a second, because Carvajal has gone away over the halfway, and he's got Valverde for support out wide, who plays a nice ball all the way across, straight into the feet of Copenhague, who tries to strike, but it's cleared away. Tied it up in midfield. A lovely turn again from Dani Olmo. Love watching him when he's in full flight, and off he goes again. He plays a really good ball to Openda towards the penalty area, onto his left foot. Oh, and he's missed again. He's bent it across. Didn't really look like he fancied it on the left foot, wanted to get it onto the right. The option wasn't there, and in the end he curves a harmless shot across the face of goal.
Yeah, really tame end to what was a fabulous RB Leipzig move. I say move, it was just Dani Olmo being brilliant down the right hand side. Lovely quick feet initially, and then it's decision making, isn't it? Can he pick the right ball? He certainly did. Found a Pender in space. Yes, there's defenders coming across, closing him down, and as you say, Steve, he didn't look comfortable, did he, on that left side, and ends up tamely sending it well wide of the target. So he hasn't quite got his shooting boots on as of yet, but encouragement for Leipzig, because they've carved out now in these 16 minutes or so 3 or 4 half-decent opportunities.
Yeah, still it stands at 0-0 though, and the disappointment will be from Marco Reus that his side have not scored from these opportunities. You kind of get the feeling they've got to be efficient in front of goal. A goal down to this Real Madrid side, and that's 3 really good opportunities that they've missed, accepting that one was probably going to be ruled offside. As Real Madrid win a free kick deep inside their own half, taken short. Rudiger will chip a ball over the top, looking for the angled run of Bellingham from left to right, down towards the right corner of the penalty area. Tries to turn back inside, but just too many blue shirts blocking him off, and RB Leipzig will clear away up towards the halfway line, where it's tied up again at the other end by Nacho. Finds Cruz out wide towards Valverde, in towards Bellingham. Again, he wants to come forward, but there's just too many defenders of him, so he from the penalty area finds Valverde, but there's plenty of time here to settle down for Real Madrid as Leipzig set themselves in 2 banks of 4 and a 2 up front. Traditional almost 4-4-2, but Olmo does tend to drift around that midfield when they are in possession of the ball. For the moment he sits in defensively. Now he pushes a little further forward as the ball goes back towards the halfway line. Of course the impetus is on Leipzig to try and press, and on Real Madrid to keep possession, but they've given the ball away the home side. It's picked up by Sesko in midfield. On that occasion he didn't have any support, and therefore Leipzig will tidy up back towards Orban on the centre circle, inside his own half of the field. Rolls it to his left for Lukeba. He looks forward, ball played in short into feet on this occasion towards Haidara, who's not really had the ball in possession. Chips the long ball over the top this time, gets way too much on it. It's 10 yards past. Lunin able to just watch the ball bounce harmlessly out for a goal kick as QPR go a goal up against West Brom in the 8 o'clock kickoff in the Championship. So all 4 games in the Championship with a goal all stand at 1-0. Manchester City leading Copenhagen by 2 goals to 0. And it's 0-0 in our game, Real Madrid against Leipzig, with 18 minutes on the clock. And for the moment, you would say yes, Leipzig are playing well, Tom, but you would also say that Real Madrid overall are controlling it pretty well around those when they've got possession with it. Quite comfortable, almost saying to Leipzig, okay, what have you got?
Yeah, there seems to be 2 or 3 minute spells where Real control the ball, keep Leipzig at arm's length, and then all of a sudden Leipzig pinch it back and look a decent threat. Not quite on the counter-attack, but certainly when they break forward with numbers. It's interesting just watching this Real Madrid formation with no centre forward there. We've seen Bellingham have a go as leading the line. Valverde, Vinicius coming in from the left, even Camavinga's been in that kind of central attacking role on occasion, but there is a notable absence in the final third, and they have ventured forward into decent areas, particularly out wide. They haven't had anyone really to aim the ball at.
Sure, Arsenal fans will tell you don't need a centre forward. It's fine. You just play around with different players up front as the ball is picked up by Leipzig in towards those central positions. They do have more of a centre forward in Sesko. Benjamin Sesko on the edge of the penalty area again as Leipzig come forward. Haidara, though, in possession at the moment, works his way across, then he loses possession as Vinicius Junior nips in and takes it off him. That's a poor ball forward, but there may be a foul off the ball, and there will be a yellow card as well for Xavier. And the challenge on Vinicius Junior, it was so far off the ball, I've got to be honest, I wasn't particularly watching what was happening to those two in terms of how much contact there was, but Schlager is the man who will be the recipient of the yellow card.
Yeah, it's a yellow card he doesn't need to take, I don't think, in the end, because it doesn't look like that Vinicius is going to get on the end of the pass from Jude Bellingham. He puts an arm across Schlager. You know, he does stop Vinicius. The arm does creep up the neck, if you like. I can understand why the referee's given a yellow card. There's not that much in it, and as I say, it didn't need to take place from Schlager's point of view. He picked up a cheap yellow card early in this game, and he's playing in the centre of Leipzig's midfield. Yeah, here comes Valverde, released by Bellingham down the right-hand side. Poor ball inside on this occasion, back towards Bellingham, but in fact fortunate for Camavinga, the way that the Leipzig man has gone rolling around on the floor. I'm not quite sure how much contact there was between the two, because again I glanced away to look at the referee to confirm that it was an offside as it came through. Yeah, you can see the replay, quite clear that Valverde from the initial ball thought he was trying to come back into an onside position. It's a little accidental tread on the foot from Camavinga. Yeah, painful one potentially, but nothing in it for me in terms of that. Just an offside, and let's get on with the game. I think he might just roll his ankle slightly as well, Schlager, as that's happening. So he's rolling it, and at the same time Camavinga accidentally trods on the top of the foot. So it's a bit of a double whammy for the midfielder, who's not the best 90 seconds or so out there. He should be okay. He's back on his feet, moving a little bit gingerly, but he'll probably run off.
Yeah, he seems to be okay as we go over the 20-minute mark. And still we await our first goal of the evening as the ball is picked up deep inside the Leipzig half. Played rather heavily into the feet of Haidara by Lukeba. Fortunately, it's cleared away down the left-hand side, where Openda will come towards the halfway line, pick up possession. There's a little bit of room for Haidara now in the more central position as Madrid are giving him the ball, giving him space well away from goal at the moment. He has possession back in here again. Looks forward, no way from the left-hand side, so goes back out to Olmo wide on the right. He needs support from it, but Real Madrid have got everybody behind the ball, even though the ball is only midway inside their own half of the field. They set themselves defensively. Forward comes Orban again. Looks for a route into the penalty area, but it's easily blocked off. And it's nice, comfortable possession from Leipzig. For once, they're in the position as they try and spread the ball out wide. David Raum slipped as he got forward. Unfortunately, ended up flat on the floor, and therefore the ball goes harmlessly out for a throw-in to Real. Midway hand side for Mendy, as Middlesbrough get an equaliser at home against 10-man Norwich. Middlesbrough 1, Norwich 1. Cruz into the feet of Bellingham, who drops in towards the halfway line. Rudiger has to stretch a little for the ball and therefore can't play it straight away as Cruz plays it to him. He then plays it out wide towards Mendy. Again, it's nice possession from Real Madrid, but it's not really going anywhere at the moment. But no real forcing the game from them, as you would expect. They have the lead by a goal to nil from the tie in the first leg. At the moment, they can't find any clear-cut opportunities. Peter Galassi still yet to make a save, really, as the ball comes forward again towards Sesko. Plays it in towards Openda onto the left-hand side. Not the best ball out towards Raum. It's cleared away by Valverde, tracking back well. Ball is out of play. We are a quarter of the way through the game, so it's time for Tom to take you through towards half-time.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. It's quite intriguing, isn't it? There hasn't been any real out-and-out clear goal-scoring opportunities. Leipzig had some half chances in decent positions in the opening 10 minutes, but it became a bit of a tactical battle with Real seeing a lot of the ball, but Leipzig having that threat on the counter-attack, and I don't feel there are opportunities there for them because Real Madrid have looked a little bit susceptible defensively in this game and over recent weeks. Leipzig are on the attack at the moment with Raum down the left-hand side, looking to take on Dani Carvajal, and he lifts across towards the far post, deflected off the Real Madrid full-back, and that favours Andrei Lunin, who can come out and comfortably claim the young Ukrainian who's taking advantage of the injury absence of Thibaut Courtois and has forced his way into the Real Madrid team on a regular basis this season. Antonio Rudiger and Real again intent to play out from the back. It very much has the feel, Steve, of the first half of a tight second leg of a Champions League knockout tie. They're both feeling each other out, tactical battle, no one wants to show their hand too much, and it's become a bit of a chess match.
Yeah, and it is what we expected in that sense. You know, Leipzig have to force the issue to some extent. They're not a side that's built to defend, really. They're a side that's got, as you said, with Olmo on one side, Simons, Openda, Sesko to a lesser extent, but still a good quality central forward player. So, you know, you kind of expect that. And Real Madrid will try and dictate the pace, as they are doing so far.
Cross from Henriks down the right-hand side for Leipzig is cut out at the front post, and now Camavinga can look to bring the ball forward. Heavy touch from him, though, invites the challenge of Schlager, who's doing that mopping up job in the middle of the park. He has picked up that yellow card for the foul on Vinicius. It's really a tightrope he's going to have to walk over the rest of this game. West Brom have got an equaliser, a quick-fire equaliser, really, in the Championship. QPR 1, West Bromwich Albion 1. In that game, but we're waiting the deadlock to be broken in this one. Real Madrid do have that 1-0 lead from the first leg that they're protecting, and they're coming forward now with Bellingham into Tchouaméni, 30 yards or so from the Leipzig goal. Again, it's Schlager biting at the heels of the Frenchman, who does well to find Valverde on the right-hand side. He plays it into Bellingham. Bellingham angle against him, trying to help it towards goal, but across on the cover was Willy Orban, who turns it behind for what I believe will be Real Madrid's first corner.
Yeah, it looks like it came off the defender last, as you say. It was a nice little ball in, a little bit tight on the angle, easy enough for that run to be picked up from Bellingham, but it does come off the Leipzig man, as you say. First set-piece opportunity quickly taken by Kroos.
Yeah, goes to the edge of the area. Valverde returns it to Toni Kroos, who's a better angle for the left-footed cross into the box. Sesko half diverts it clear. It comes to Vinicius, still inside the Leipzig penalty area, although he's now been forced out wide, although he beats Haidara with ease, gets to the byline. Can he cut it back? No, he runs out of room. I'm not sure if that was luck or brilliance from Vinicius initially on that far flank. I would suggest the latter, maybe a combination of the two, but he's the danger man. He's the out ball for Real Madrid, and the one, if they are going to get the noses in front on the night, who's probably likely to do the most danger.
Yeah, he's getting a surprising amount of space at times as well on that right-hand side. It's almost the case of this Leipzig side saying, okay, we know how good you are. We're not going to try one-on-one with you. We're going to try and pick up players and get cover in behind them when you get possession of it by trying to keep you out wide, which at the moment Vinicius Junior is perfectly happy to do, and patrol the sideline down that left-hand side. So again, we talked about intriguing battles. That's certainly one of them at the moment. He's clearly the outlet because he always seems to be the furthest player forward, even though he's playing wide on that left-hand side.
I mentioned it was a quick-fire equaliser from West Brom. Well, they've got a second goal now, the Baggies. They've gone from 1-0 down in the space of a couple of minutes to leading QPR in West London by 2-1, as Schlager has the ball in our game inside the centre circle. Pulls it tentatively forward towards Lois Openda. Rested and only used as a substitute at the weekend for Leipzig. They claimed a impressive 4-1 victory in the Bundesliga as he sweeps a nice ball out to the left-hand side, but Raum wasn't able to bring it under control. Kroos now for Real Madrid into Bellingham. Camavinga then plays a rather blind ball backwards. He'll say he knew what he was doing as Nacho helps it further back to his goalkeeper Lunin. Now Rudiger to Carvajal on the right-hand side. Leipzig trying to adopt an aggressive press as sidestep there nicely by Kroos. And he plays it out towards Ferland Mendy on the left-hand side. He carries the ball over the halfway line and allows Vinicius, again hugging that left-hand touchline, to take over. Middlesbrough now 2-1 up at home to 10-man Norwich, coming from behind to take the lead at the Riverside Michael Carrick's team. Of course, many a Champions League night in the knockout stages. Real Madrid towards Tchouaméni. They are keeping the ball well, right, Real, and you get the feeling they're executing Carlo Ancelotti's game plan how he would like, but because we keep mentioning it, that lack of an out-and-out centre forward and out ball, they don't really have much punch at the moment in the final third.
No, it's easy enough for Leipzig to sit back, as you said. Schlager and Haidara do a really good job as Valverde comes away down the right, though, and the deflected cross spins into the arms of Galassi. He'll be quite happy he's caught that. He had dropped an absolute clanger against Bochum from a free kick that slipped through his fingers at the weekend. But that was more the goalkeeping we expect from Peter Galassi. Comfortable, spinning ball, had to be careful, but a fairly easy enough save in the end. But Valverde suddenly finding space again out wide, which once or twice. Again, he's been given that room, hasn't he? And it's a dangerous game for Leipzig to play to some extent, in that they're allowing the space out wide on the basis of, right, well, we'll cover everything in the middle because it's easy, because we're just picking up runners. But there is that danger, of course, with Valverde and Vinicius Junior, that you give them that space and they will take 10 or 15 yards and come into those central positions. Then you've got a major problem from a defensive point of view.
There has been punished by the referee. Openda on the receiving end. Tchouaméni can't believe it. It's one of those where he wins the ball, but he's a bit over aggressive in the follow through, shall we say. We'll have a look at the replay now. The ball popped up to be won, and to be fair, he gets the ball, Tchouaméni, as I mentioned, and it's as much Openda crashing into Toni Kroos in front of him as anything, and you can understand why Tchouaméni's a little bit frustrated.
Yeah, I don't really see. I mean, yes, there is a little tiny bit of follow through, but I suspect from the referee's angle, in terms of how he's looking at it, he probably sees the connection and then feels that the connection with the foot has been higher up the leg. I don't think he. I think it just taps the ankle and Openda goes down rather dramatically over the top of what little contact he got. So I do have some sympathy.
Three more goals, unanswered goals from the Danish champions, would take that to extra time, as Henriks in our game cuts in from right to left, plays an angled ball out towards Round, but it's well intercepted by Carvajal, who in turn gives possession away rather cheaply. Leipzig will recycle it back to their goalkeeper Galassi. Start again deep inside his own half. We're into the final 15 minutes of this first period. Madrid 0, RB Leipzig 0 on the night, 1-0. Real continue to lead on aggregate. Simons for Leipzig just squares it across to Lukeba. His international debut for France towards the end of last year. The man signed from Lyon last summer, and he feeds the ball into Haidara now. Simons. That's for Raum down the left-hand side. Simons uses him, but Raum again, not for the first time, a little bit quick to try and offload possession, and he's given the ball away. Camavinga now looking to get Real going on the front foot. His pass has got Bellingham scampering out to the left-hand side. He's skipped away from the backtracking Raum and just nonchalantly backheels it to Carvajal, and Real Madrid will settle into possession once again. You feel like there's opportunities for Leipzig when they go forward. I mentioned Raum there, a little bit quick to offload, and one or two of those players just not able to really sustain what could be a promising attack.
Yeah, the situations where it's bad choices, isn't it? Start of, as you say, it's Raum out wide, take it forward, the space to run into, have that bit of confidence. Openda in the area didn't take the right option, Sesko didn't either. So, that's the kind of thing that comes back to haunt you in these games, because at the moment Real Madrid not particularly interested in rushing forward. They'll just take it as it is. If the opportunity comes, lovely. If it doesn't, we'll just try and keep possession.
Vinicius does look to whip a ball into the box. I think Dani Carvajal was the intended target at the far post. A bit too much on that there, and it goes out of play for a goal kick. So 0-0 in this game. Real clear goal scoring opportunity, certainly over the last 15-20 against Bochum in the Bundesliga last time out, and they've got 2 wins from 3 in this season's Champions League, but their away record overall in this competition isn't the best. They've never, had that real landmark victory on the road in the Champions League, as Openda looks to get forward down the left-hand side. His cross, though, is too far in front of Sesko. They've beaten the likes of Benfica, Celtic, Tottenham in the group stage a few years ago in the past, but really taken on one of the established European elites. As another cross from Henriks goes straight into the gloves of Lunin, and certainly winning away in the Bernabeu, even if it didn't end up being enough for Leipzig, that would be that kind of landmark victory.
Yeah, you kind of feel like that's the next step up for this side. I mean, in the Bundesliga, obviously they're not doing as well this season, struggled a little bit, a lot of turnover of players within the whole squad in that sense, and a couple of injuries. Obviously Galassi's not been available for a while as well, in terms of the goalkeeping. Blaswich has been in instead for them, so there have been issues for them to deal with. Marco Rose is, as you say, a great coach. We know that in terms of what he can bring to this side, and you can see the pattern, you can see the play, and the style that he's indoctrinated into this side. But as I said, it just feels a little bit like it's more or less split: 13 wins, 14 defeats. In that sense, last dozen or so games, 7 wins, 5 defeats. So there's not a lot of sort of grey area with this Leipzig side. They either come and beat you, or you will beat them. There doesn't seem to be much in between, and very few draws. Don't seem to want to obviously grind out results the way that they play. So it tends to be quite an open game. It tends to go one way or the other, and that's kind of what we've seen so far. Where quite easily, they could easily be 2-0 up here, Leipzig, with the opportunities that they've had early on in this first half. And you look at it, Galashi largely sat in his armchair watching this game. He's not really had anything to do at all. There's been no pressure. There's been no dominant pressure, certainly from Real Madrid, and no real clear-cut opportunities.
Yeah, the heat map in and around Peter Galassi's penalty area won't be particularly glowing, will it?
Glacial.
Certainly, yeah, but Real Madrid are seeing more of the ball, and it's around 60% in their favour, but still being played tea to green at the moment. They have won a free kick though. Henriks has been penalised over on the right-hand side for a foul on Jude Bellingham. White gets to the ball and then just a slight stray arm into the face of the England international, who is having a domestic ban over the next couple of weeks, but very much available for these European games. As Rudiger into Nacho, back to Antonio Rudiger it goes again. Every so often we see the Leipzig press just force Real Madrid back. Lunin has it on the edge of his penalty area.